Hello, darlings. Here we go again. It's Tuesday. I hope some of you are up and watching or something, or even lying down and watching. Standing up or lying down. That's a naughty song, but I'd better not sing that yet. No, let's be serious for a moment. The awful thing that is happening in our world is the terrible fires in California. And I think most of you know about them. It really is a very sad and shocking state of affairs. But the amazing thing is the first responders and the second responders and the Red Cross and all the wonderful people that just get out there and do it. They must be so exhausted. May God bless them and keep them all safe. We'll be talking about the fires a little bit more when my guest comes to join me, because he lives in Malibu and he's out there and knows a lot more about it from a first-hand point of view. But anyway, let's be cheerful for a moment. I've been putting the finishing touches to this flaming second book of mine, finally. It's called Your Mother Should Know. And at my age, she sure should, right? And I've been going through and sort of checking spellings and, all sorts of technical stuff and making sure that everything is right and proper. And hopefully it'll be out before Christmas or about Christmas. So I do hope somebody buys it. But if they don't buy that, they could buy some of my guests' colouring books, which we'll talk about in a moment or two. But, never mind. Let's not listen to me. Let me get my lovely guest on camera. It's Fireball. Fireball Tim from Malibu. Come along, roll on the drums, please.
I wasn't sure what my cue was. So.
Hello, buddy.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Very cool. I'm excited to be here. This is awesome.
I'm excited to have you. Yeah. We tried to have you last week, and then the fires. Yeah.
This is the season for you got to be flexible.
I know.
During fire
Absolutely,
season.
I know. Yeah.
You never know when you make a meeting and you got to cancel.
That's right. A lot of events were cancelled in the last few days, weren't they? Because of the closures of the freeways and so on. So, tell us how much has it affected your life?
Well, it's interesting because we're right kind of in the middle of Malibu, and especially with the Woolsey fire that happened last year, which is I think almost exactly a year to this date.
I know. Yeah.
It hit everything north of us. And this fire is kind of hitting everything south of us. So we're kind of in this pocket at the moment. But right now, currently, as I was driving down, the fire that's at the Getty seems to be somewhat under control in that there's not a lot of smoke. Yeah. I think that the firefighters, which are real superheroes in the world,
I know,
and they don't need capes, they don't need super suits,
or phone boxes to fly out.
They accomplish amazing things, right?
Yeah, wonderful people. I can never imagine how anybody would want to be a firefighter. Can you?
I guess it takes a type of courage that most people don't have. Yeah, because every single time you go out,
you just don't know, do you?
It could be your last, absolutely.
What's the same with the police, really, isn't it? You know?
And I've talked to a lot of firefighters over the years, and they said that something that they contend with the most, it's far scarier than fighting fires themselves, is the idea that their friends might perish. Oh. And the stress that they build a camaraderie that is so tight that they go out and one of those guys may not make it. And that's something I can't imagine a job like that.
No, just incredible. Yeah. And it's not really abating a great deal right now, is it?
No.
They're containing some, but other things are breaking out all over the place.
Yeah, they are, and it's just it's a tough condition where it's high heat and high winds.
That's right, and the winds, of course, don't help.
Right, and there's a lot of people out there that aren't necessarily right in the head. That
we know
flick their cigarettes and do things like that.
I know, and throw things out of the window. I know, it's very sad.
So it's tough, but people in Malibu are getting by. So
yeah, I know people always do, and what I always wonder about is, why do you rebuild in the same place? I suppose it's your roots. I mean, if it happened where I used to live in Liverpool, I suppose, after the war we were bombed senseless, everything was flat, but then we just built in the same places again.
Yeah, you know, you love where you live.
Yeah, I know.
Or if you're fortunate enough to have that.
That's
you know.
right. Yeah.
I've been all over the world and I've seen a lot of beautiful places, but I always have a tremendous sense of peace when I know that I'm going home.
I know.
You know, and Malibu's it for me. My second favorite place in the world is Chicago, which I love. And,
oh, really?
and,
Yeah.
But there's many, you know, wonderful places in the world that people love living there for their lifestyle.
That's right, yeah.
And for Kathy and I being outdoor people,
Yeah.
To look out your window and see the ocean is very important.
I know. Kathy. Oh, Kathy, now there's a lady.
Yeah.
Weren't you lucky or wasn't she lucky? Oh, maybe both of you were lucky.
I'm
to
far
find each
luckier
other.
than she is. Yeah.
Oh, well, it's not nice for a husband to say.
Well, she's, you know, I've never experienced anybody more talented than her. Diverse. So Kathy, her company is KCL Productions. You can see that online. And she built an incredible builder, sculptor, but costume designer.
Yes.
She has been building Ellen DeGeneres' Christmas mascots for the last
16,
17 years. And she just finished doing one, which is going to be on tomorrow's episode. So if you watched Ellen DeGeneres tomorrow, Halloween show for kids.
Great, yes.
So she built something for that.
Yeah.
And she's built everything from HR Puffin stuff.
Oh, golly, that's going back a bit.
Yeah, the banana split. She even built the dog Cujo because they couldn't get a regular dog to hit his head against the car, so she had to build a fake dog. You know?
Of course you do. I like
but she's amazing sculptor also.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah. And by the way, Kathy, I apologize because when I promoted our little thing today, I spelt your name with a C and not with a K. So
for shame.
Do apologize. She won't make a sculpture of me now. Mind you, there isn't enough plaster, is there? So tell us about what you're up to now. I mean, what about your colouring books? I love them.
Thanks.
I've got one. I've got one of my own.
That's our newest book. That's Tiki.
Yes.
So, you know, when you go to the store, to CVS or something, you see a lot of really bad coloring books, and people are kind of used to that. So we wanted to create a premium book that was hyper niched because I'm a car guy, and there's a lot of car people out there that don't get to have a coloring book that's of their
relevant
type of
to
car.
their interests.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
right. Yeah.
Same thing with Tiki. Anything that's peripheral. So, you know, our brand, our company, which is Fireball Publishing, concentrates on automotive and sea life. So our books are a combination of those two elements. The books are for sale in everything from car museums to aquariums. Oh. And then, of course, you can buy them on Amazon. We have about 22 books now, and they're really great. So Corvettes, Mustangs, Surf Woodies, and then a host of sea life books.
Fabulous. Yeah. So I hope you're all taking note of this, and you know where to do your Christmas shopping, right?
Yeah. And 10% of proceeds goes to ocean cleanup from a company called For Ocean.
Yes.
And Dog Rescue. If you haven't heard about Hope for Paws on YouTube, get busy after we're done here and go check them out.
That's right. Awesome. Yeah, sure. You see, we're all hard. I mean, we might be a couple of old reprobates, but we're so good deep down somewhere, I guess.
No matter what you say, it always comes out elegant.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Reprobates, yes. Well, I can say much worse than that, but not on camera. No, I don't want to lose any clients or friends or contacts. So what else are you working on at the moment? You do all these charity events?
We do. We just did something for Alzheimer's just last weekend, which was great. My mom passed from that.
Yes.
But we have a car museum up in Oxnard called the Murphy Auto Museum.
Oh, right. I wanted to ask you more about that.
Excuse me. We have about 40 cars in that collection.
Oh, really?
And then an art gallery, a store, things like that. Yeah. So we're trying to create events. We have our car shows, Wheels and Waves, which is a celebrity-driven car show that happens in Malibu. Yeah. Cars and Coffee. So everything we do has kind of a Hollywood spin on it. You know, because I've designed cars for movies for the last 30 plus years.
Of course.
And now they're just in books.
Oh my goodness, your car history. Yeah. Design.
So anything having to do with cars and car design and people's passion for cars. Sure. That's kind of our world. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Martin brought you a drop of
magic water.
It's water. It's just McCartney water.
Ooh, that's good.
And it's only $12 a glass.
That's right. I'll take it.
Okay, fine.
People are asking, getting back to the fires real quick. If there's nothing left to burn, why is it still burning?
Oh, there's a lot to burn.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize just how large the coastline from Santa Monica up to Oxnard is. You're talking about 30 miles long,
Yeah.
and then probably about 25 miles wide of burnable space that is all hilly. It's very difficult for the firefighters to get there. We have 2 to 3 super scoopers that are working full time. They fly from Lancaster, so it takes a good 45 minutes for them from wheels up. There's helicopters. It's just a really difficult, heavily populated in some areas, heavily difficult to get to in other areas. The Woolsey fire, we lost 1,000 homes. That was a year ago. It's all new brush now that has grown, and some of that brush is re-burning.
That's right, ready to burn again.
Right,
Yeah.
but some of the fire, the Woolsey fire started in Calabasas. It made its way west towards the coast, but slightly north. It missed us and went all the way to the border of Ventura County.
Oh, really?
And burned
Yeah.
all of that. It
Yeah.
didn't touch anything of where the Getty is now. The Getty is right at the edge of the 405 between like Sherman Oaks and those areas in Santa Monica. So that's a big area that wasn't touched the first time. And then of course there's Hollywood, and we just have mountains and galore everywhere. So it's very easy to say that tens of thousands of acres can be burned, but there is far more than that can be. LA is a very, very big city.
It's as big as Belgium.
it's
I think
massive.
LA and LA County and Orange County is the size of Belgium.
Size of
Yeah,
Belgium,
yeah.
and
So
that's
I mean, you
amazing.
literally can
Yeah.
drive from Orange County up to Oxnard and drive 3 hours, and you're still in LA.
Sure.
So
I know.
it's
It's like
massive.
when people are coming to visit us from other countries and they say, oh, maybe we could pop to Disneyland before lunch.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, just head on over. I think the important thing to consider too is that don't believe everything that you hear. The news is the way the news works is that they want you to watch, obviously.
That's right,
So,
keep your attention.
right,
Yeah.
and so they're going to make it sound as worse as possible. And they're going to talk about, if they don't have a fire in a certain area, they're going to talk about the potential of what would happen if a fire did show up there. So
Yeah.
I think it's important to get a realistic perspective, and the only way you can do that is by getting online and looking at multiple sources for information.
Yes, we do.
Not just one.
Yeah, we
Right.
watch German television, English,
Yeah.
Japanese.
But Twitter is a great place to do that because that's in real time.
That's right.
People like me or Facebook Live. If I see, like I was at the 101 freeway in Las Virgenes yesterday,
Oh, yeah.
and we were heading to the studio, and a fire broke out right in front of us.
Oh, my goodness.
Literally broke out right in front of us. And I got on Facebook Live and I immediately let people know.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, a lot of people avoided going in that direction that were traveling. And that kind of news is actually helpful as opposed
Right.
to
Of
listening to
course.
news like, well, what if there was a fire there and what would happen if it was? And
a
who
lot
cares?
of sensationalism,
yeah.
unnecessary.
And
yeah.
they're a business that requires you to watch so that their advertisers get what they need.
Sure,
And then
exactly.
it's a
Yes.
monetary thing.
Yeah.
But if you want real news in a real way, stay in touch with your friends via Facebook Live platforms like this.
Yeah.
It allows you to get the real stuff, to know
Twitter.
exactly what's going on.
Yeah. I know Twitter can be, a source of a lot of controversy or controversy, whichever I speak 2 languages. you see.
Yeah, because
English
I have no idea what you just
English
said at
and
all.
rubbish.
Yeah.
English and rubbish. But I think if you know what your sources are, and there's a website called Snopes, and they delve into the reality behind a lot of the things, the headlines that you see.
Yeah.
There's the Huffington Post and the this and the that. There's so many sources of information coming at
Yeah.
you
Right.
that you
Right.
don't know what's accurate, what's been checked and what hasn't.
Exactly.
And whenever there's a disaster, there's always, the day Brian Epstein died, as we got back in our house from being with the Beatles and Paul being on the phone to Brian, who was saying, let's talk about the plans for tomorrow. By the time we got home, 34 miles away, George Harrison's mother was on the phone saying, Brian's been murdered. Oh no, Brian's just shot himself. Oh, it's on Radio Caroline.
Yeah.
It was none of those. It was an accidental overdose.
Right.
But the news just spits out.
It's a
and
big
goes
game
worldwide.
of telephone. You
Yeah.
know, it's a big game of telephone.
Yeah.
And the platforms like Twitter, it's very clear that Twitter is a place where people can bitch a lot. You know, it's like
sure.
you got an issue, you're gonna let somebody have it. I get that. But I think it's more important to understand how can you use Twitter from a standpoint of not getting but giving.
Giving, that's right.
And that's what people are missing.
Advising, helping other people like you did with the farm.
Yeah.
yesterday.
Now you watch our show in the mornings. We have a
Every
show
morning.
called Art Talk that happens at 8 a.m. every morning Pacific Standard Time. If you guys want to check that out. But we try to get people to understand that the value of life comes from what you put into it, not what you
Exactly.
People are constantly trying to get things out of it. You know, let me go and try to get this guy as a client.
No,
exactly.
no.
And the get mentality never works.
Yeah,
you know,
no.
but the give mentality expands and amazing things come of it.
I know from little things, like I always try to start the day when I go on Facebook with either a cat video or something lovely about animals or nature or something funny. And you would be amazed at how many people get back to me and say, my God, I needed that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because everybody's waking up with, oh, I wonder what.
Right. And we're living in a fear-based society.
Yeah, I know. Just make people smile.
Yeah.
Go on, smile.
Yeah, if you
Go
can,
on,
okay.
when
If
they
you can
smile.
do, if you can find your own unique way, which you
Yeah.
have, and if you guys are watching, and if you're going through something that's difficult right now, whether it's a divorce, whether it's something where you've lost a child, or something that can be for you, it's very serious.
Yeah.
The quickest way out of that situation is finding a way in which you can give to someone else, and that's the hardest thing, because when you're stuck in self, you feel sorry for yourself.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of pain there.
I couldn't agree more.
But the moment that you can think about, how can I help somebody today? I lost my dog. I have a friend that lost their dog. It's very painful. In fact, it's harder for me to lose an animal than it is to lose a person.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're just so innocent, they don't know what's going on.
No,
It's tough.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But the moment you take yourself out of self and you put yourself into giving to others, then tremendous healing begins.
We could begin a church. We
Yeah.
could be evangelists.
A movement.
We call it the Church of Coolness.
Church of cool and tea and coffee
right.
and maybe a drop of vodka.
Yeah,
whatever.
right. Yeah, maybe more than a drop, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what do you imply?
I'm there with you.
No, seriously, tell me more about the Murphy Museum.
The Murphy Museum it's up in Oxnard. It's all Americana, so we celebrate iconic iron from Detroit and things like that.
Great.
We wanted to create a place that was multi-leveled, not just a car museum. You pay and you go in and you can see these things. But we do a lot of events. We have events like a vintage trailer show that we do that takes place around the whole museum. Just a place where people can unplug. That they got their daily stresses, their anxieties, and all this nonsense, and it just goes on and on and on. It's nice just to take a few hours out, to go out and have some fun and tell some stories about, the vintage trailer that you had, maybe the Volkswagen Bug. What was your first car?
It was a Ford in England, Liverpool, yeah. Can't remember what the model was.
Yeah, it was a couple years ago.
Probably a Model T, wasn't it?
It was a model dinosaur.
Oh, thanks, boys. Where are you working next week? Do you like hospital food, you lot?
Yeah, it's back when they wore wooden underwear. And,
Yeah. But it's amazing. I mean, Ange, Model T to Ford Edge. I mean, you've gone from,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Don't tell them what I drive.
For
They
someone
probably
who
think I
has
drive a Porsche or a Maserati.
For someone who's experienced as much of life as you have a certain perspective about the way you look at things.
Absolutely.
And for the car world, you've seen all the way from cars where they were still somewhat new.
And I loved the fact they all had running boards.
Yeah.
And I could climb up on them.
We need that back.
Now. I know.
Yeah, we need that and rumble seats.
Who sometimes takes it to the airport. It's got running. He just presses a button and it goes, shoop, you come out.
Yeah, cars are kind of boring nowadays. We need some of that coolness back. Yeah.
Okay. I will leave it to you with your influence in the car business.
We'll work on that.
Bring back running boards for the little people.
Okay. I don't know if it would be illegal. It's not legal to ride in the back of a truck now. They just keep cutting all these things.
Come on, you can't put your dog in the back of a truck or...
Speaking
they
of...
have doggy goggles too in case they get a little bit of grit in their eyes.
I think that people that were born in the 60s and 70s really shouldn't be alive right now because we drank out of the hose.
Oh,
We
wow.
rode our bikes without a helmet. We
Right.
just disappeared in the morning, didn't
Right.
tell our parents where
Right,
we were.
right.
You know, didn't come back till
Exactly.
6 because you know you get in deep, you know what,
Do-do,
if
yeah.
you didn't come back.
Yeah, before dark.
Yeah, exactly. But nowadays,
Yeah.
it's helmet, it's...
Right.
Oh God,
There's-
there's gum guards and shin
You know,
guards. And,
kids are wearing pillows around them in case they trip. And,
Yeah.
you know,
I know.
so we need running boards back.
I've
That's my
got
point.
pillows in case I trip. Built in. Self-satisfied.
I'm just going to sit next to you, come
Oh,
closer
you
here,
are.
like that.
Against my pillows. Sorry, Kathy, nothing personal. You understand. Just get on with building your models.
Yes.
It's a good girl.
Yeah.
I'll send him home in good order. Well, fairly, reasonably. But I just find out, I look at you every morning, Monday to Friday, on television, that is. And I think, how on earth do you do it all? You and Kathy do so many things. How many hours do you sleep, in other words? Do you sleep?
I go to bed at about 9:30 and I'm up at 4 every morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the secret is simply that and many people have difficulty with this, is that they have a job that they're doing, but they would almost rather be doing something else.
Oh yeah, sure.
And
So many people.
I learned early on, I was very fortunate, I had a great parents, amazing mom, that said that you have to early on, you have to find your passion, you find your calling.
Yes.
That thing that's inside of you that you have to express. And the sooner you can do that and fall in love with what you do, then all that work is easy. Because it doesn't, it's effortless for me to get up at 4 and go do what I love, because it's like Angie calling me up saying, hey, we're going to go to Disneyland tomorrow. Well, you know, of course you would jump out of bed.
Yeah.
You jump out of bed because you're going to go have fun tomorrow.
That's
right?
right, yeah.
So I get to have fun every day. You know, I
Yeah.
don't know where I'm going to be, but I either get to go to a car show, go to the museum, or go to the studio and
Yeah.
work on a movie, or there's just so many wonderful things
Yeah.
that I get to
I
do.
know, yeah.
Not to say that it was easy. You know, when you first start out, you're not making squat. You don't make any
No,
money.
Not about the money though, is it?
No, it's not.
As long as you
It's
can
not.
have a couch to sleep on.
Right.
And,
But it is about faith. It is about
sure.
belief and persistence that you can have the thing that you want.
I couldn't
But you have to
agree more.
identify it first. You
Yeah.
have to know what it is that you want. In order, you wouldn't just get in a plane, take off without a destination.
That's right.
Yeah, you need to know where
I
you're
know,
going.
And in some cases it takes much longer.
Right.
Martin has got the most amazing voice, talent for creating. And you did-
Sing us something, Martin.
No, we don't want to empty the room yet. No, but it has taken him a long time. He's working on this incredible trilogy called Geist. If you play cards right, I might give you a CD to take home today.
Solid.
Do you think, Martin? It's very
Sure.
well. But that is his first and real love. And now he's stuck with the two of us and all this internet business. And this is McCartney's teas. and this
It's
is
not too bad.
No, no.
And he's a Rolling Stones fan too, would you believe? So he went
Is
to
that
see...
still in focus? If I hold
Oh,
it
yeah.
up there? Yeah, check it out.
This week's episode brought to you
yeah,
by
That's
Mrs.
Maple.
McCartney's
This is mine.
Oh, yes.
Mop Top Maple.
Yes. Oh, I know, it's lovely. I love maple. But no, Martin went to the Hollywood Palladium last Saturday night, was it, Martin?
Yes.
To see 3 Swedish heavy metal bands. What are they called? Heavy metal or?
Yeah, it was actually
Thrash or-
death black metal, you know.
Death black
Death
metal
black
from Sweden.
metal.
Yeah.
That's just the weirdest thing I ever heard, but
Yeah.
I
He
would
said
love
they
to see
didn't
that.
sing one ABBA song all night.
I do know that the band Scorpions,
Right.
when I went and saw them in concert in, I think it was 1984, they did not speak English at all. They just learned the words to the songs,
Yeah.
sang them all,
Yeah.
and then they had to learn English after that. And it was incredible.
Yeah, when we launched my first book in Liverpool 6 years ago, they brought in 4 Beatle tribute bands from all over the world, and one was called the Tetrads from Germany, and these boys
Japan.
from Tokyo, didn't speak a word of English.
Perfect performance.
Oh,
Yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
And they used to say, she loves you. yeah. And then they did not speak a single word
Yeah.
of English.
Yeah,
bless them.
it's amazing.
But in typical Liverpool humor, and you might want to, relate on that, is they flew all night from Japan.
Yeah.
These kids, they were in their silver outfits, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then they
got
didn't have
into
enough
London,
hotel
didn't they?
rooms to
Yeah.
put them under, so they put them in a yellow submarine in the harbor. So they went from this high to that low, shaking all night.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And then
That's troopers.
They checked in there and then came to our hotel and said, Cavan. We go, Cavan. So we took them to the cabin about, 11 o'clock at night. And
Yeah, they had to open it again.
I know.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to
were
play.
just about emptying out, and they opened it up and let these kids go on stage.
Wow.
And I still hear from a couple of them. They've broken up as a band since, but they're all still, in the music game. But the knowledge that they were playing at the cabin where the Beatles had actually played was like, so...
That's when, the American and English rock bands would play Budokan in Japan. It was like a sacred place.
Yes,
You know?
absolutely, yeah. It's funny how we all have our idols. Do you have an idol apart from your wife?
Wow, that's interesting. I think I have idols for different parts of my life.
Yeah.
So one idol I have is Sid Mead, who is been a concept artist in the world for forever. He just retired, and I have our main show, which is Fireball Malibu Vlog.
Yes.
The 960 episodes. We featured his retirement as one of the episodes. We actually announced his retirement on that show. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But I think that it's probably more like there's just so many people that I have come across in my life that I can look up to for different reasons. And I think it's just amazing to see someone, I don't care what they're into, just do it to such an extreme level.
I know.
It's very passionate. James Cameron's one. Ridley Scott, a lot of incredibly creative directors that I've gotten a chance to work with. It's a neat experience to interact with these people and see them as normal people.
Yeah.
Going to the store, because I live in Malibu, we see celebrities all the time. And it's pretty constant. We have them at our show all the time. But I'll go to the store and I'll walk into the yogurt aisle, and there's Dick Van Dyke trying to figure out what yogurt to buy. And he asks me, he says, "What's good?" And I'm like, "Well, I think this is pretty good." He goes, "Okay, great." And then he dances back down the aisles and sings.
Yeah. Well, I think Ruth and Martin first met you at one of those Malibu events where they met also Dick Van Dyke.
Right.
And Ruth said to him, "Can we take a photograph?" He said, "Yes, certainly." So took a selfie. And he said, "Print it in black and white." And Ruth said, "Oh, okay, why?" He said, "Everything's funnier in black and white." And it is, when you look at the old I saw a Charlie Chaplin movie in the night, and it was so funny because you're concentrating on the action more than all the peripheral stuff.
Yeah. Buster Keaton was a big
with the clock
idol of mine.
Yeah. I know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
It's just I'm very grateful to be able to interact with people that exist on a very high creative level.
Yes.
People like you, and
God, that's
yeah, you can pay me later. For
if I had any money, I'd die and leave it all to you. I'm not gonna die.
But it's an amazing life. But I certainly don't want to brag about that or for people to be jealous about that.
I know.
I think that anybody that you can look up to that you have in your life, if it's your parents or your uncle or every day in every way, we just try to make our lives better in some way.
That's right.
Through health, our relationships, through finances, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you can do that. You just have to take steps. You have to take action to
Yeah,
in
and
the
you have
direction
to
you
be
want to go.
aware, don't you, of what you have to be grateful for.
Absolutely.
I know that sounds as boring as old crap to most people. Oh God, she's grateful. But I am every morning when I begin to waken up, and it's usually because one of the cats, Sundance, has jumped on the bed and he's going, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And I think, it's another day. And I can remember, we've been through thick and thin, a lot more thin than thick. Waking up and thinking, oh God, I'm still here.
Yeah.
But now, I'm almost 90, pushing 90, and so glad to be alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I've got aches and pains and bits that
Join the club.
Need fixing.
You don't have to be 90 to have aches and pains.
No, I know. Oh, you've got a long way to go yet.
Well, but that's extraordinary, and and it's not about the age as much as the quality of life.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, and the people you have around you. I have learnt more and more to trust my gut instinct. The instinct you have the first moment you meet somebody.
Yeah.
And sometimes you think, and then a bit later this person might soften you up and you think, oh, I was wrong, he's quite nice really. No, he isn't. No. If I'd believed in my gut feelings, my life would have taken a very different tour. I can't think of what I'm going to say now. Route to what it was. Well, route in Australian means, sex.
Tell them the story about the Australian girl that was laughing when she was in the supermarket and in an aisle full of root beer.
Oh, root beer, yes.
Sex beer.
Yeah. Ooh,
That would sell
right,
really well, I think.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, someone's got to come up with that idea
Yeah.
because,
Maybe Kathy should make a model of a tin of root beer.
Yeah.
All right,
I know
folks,
something
that was a
else.
great show today.
Jolly good Martin's telling us, giving us the
Yeah, yeah,
rush
yeah.
Okay,
now.
yeah.
Hey, we've been thrown out a bit of
I better
joints
swing
from
my...
this, pal.
One last pass, the secret ingredient, love.
Love.
That's it.
All you need is tea. Never mind the love.
Yeah.
Buy
Get
the
yours
tea.
for Christmas. Bye, kids. See you next
Bye-bye.
week.
See you next week.
See you guys.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Tim.